Greetings, family. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Another report, Melanin Report 360. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all are having a good Tuesday. Seems like the week's already trying to slide by. So thank you again for tuning Black in the Melanin Report 360. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, and follow. So let me go ahead and read my fair use disclaimer because I need to make sure I'm do that every time. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So, thank you again for tuning in. So I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and what kept coming up in my meditation and prayer this morning was, why can't we be unified? Why is it such an issue for unifying our country? Okay, so let's just start there. So I definitely got my hair cut, so I don't have the turban on. I think she did an excellent job. So let me just give a shout out to Zara. It's a lady, she's from Iraq, and quite lovely energy. And I kept asking her, you know how to cut black hair, when I called her over the phone. And she said she saw 11. She said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So she definitely hooked me up. All right. So giving shout out Zara on Thunderbird. Yeah, Thunderbird in Phoenix. So thank you so much. Yeah, so I just wanted to give her that plug. So I was thinking about, why are we so disjointed and there's so much chaos and confusion? I mean, it's just boggles my mind. If we think about it, we were brought here, as enslaved people, our ancestors. And we've been struggling pretty much ever since to this day. I'm not understanding that. We are supposed to be living in a civilized, civilized nation. We see our behavior abroad and everywhere else uncivilized. I think we about to end a 20-year war. It's not even on top of the news anymore. You know, Within the last 6, 7 months, or not that, probably 6, 7 years, it hasn't been top of the Afghanistan war. We're still blowing that place up. This is not what we should leave to our children, grandchildren. This is not blueprint. We should not have this discussion other than saying, how can we make amends? How can we find the common ground? How can we unify, people in this country, citizens? And, whether they're legal, illegal, we always have some kind of level of separation. And it's just sickening because this energy we have been giving out. We've been wherever we go, we have to put that flag up saying, "Hey, we've been here." Usually, it's by hook or crook. Usually, by hook and crook. You know, so it's really really a sad state of affairs because we have been fighting in Iraq 20 years, 2001. This is 2021. Like, who does this? What is the end game? There's never an end game. It's never, ever, ever an end game. Have you seen an end game? What is the purpose for war? Let's start there. What is the fundamental purpose for wars? Just maybe you can put that in your message. I just don't understand why this country can be so brutal. Children are starving. We've got money to blow up nations or countries. It's just ridiculous. See, what's happening now is a boomerang effect. It's what I was alluding to yesterday. Because when you send energy out, so hear this, when you send energy out, which may questionable, okay? Somebody could see it's war, it's deserving war, if that's what we should say. But if you're putting something out, hear this, you better be ready to have it returned 10 times. If you put good out, which we should all be doing, goodness, greatness out. You know, my mother was just sharing with me. I talked to her moments ago. She just shared to me that she and her bestie was at IHOP or what, a breakfast place, and the man at the next table, he paid their bill. It was probably $25 or so. So I was telling her, well, he was paying it forward. What are we paying forward? Are we paying death and destruction and chaos and confusion? Is that the only thing this country can represent? Can we ever be representative of a beautiful place? We're not even checking for reparations. We're not even we're not even having a discussion that reparation happen. Okay, we don't have the visual scars, we have the emotional, psychological scars. And by that, when I say that, we may not be eating well, we may not be, we may be drinking, it could have been some alcoholism along the line of your descendants from were alcoholics. I'm not saying all of them, all of us, but this is what we came from. So when we have this as the platform, we can usually go high or we can go low. We're not even ever looking for quote unquote a savings grace or a parachute. We're not even checking for that. We have been pulling up ourselves by the bootstraps, which Reagan mentioned that. That was like 25, 30 years ago, probably 30, 35 years ago. And so to assume we haven't been pulling ourselves up, this is the psychological gain from this country. And so we have to be mindful of the 20-year war. This is what we've been sending out. This is what we've been sending out. This is 20 years of this. And rebuilding, aim to rebuild. So why you tear it up anyway, in the first place? You know? And so this is the cause and effect. When you put out causes, there will be an effect. This is the law of the universe. This is the law. This is the principle. What comes up goes up, must come down. This is the gravitational law. So we have to understand why Miami happened. We cannot dismiss this catastrophe, which every sense of the word is and is a catastrophe. Definitely. There's no question about that. There's no question. I cannot even imagine. I've been to Miami, I want to say the Source Awards, and that was back some years ago. It was like in 2000, but it was at the beginning of the decade. And I think 2010 or somewhere in there. the Source Awards. It was in Miami, and it was a hot ticket. Me and my girlfriends, went down there and had a good time. Hey, but will Miami ever be the same? Because this energy, those people are trapped, were killed, probably in the sleeping, just such innocence. It didn't happen 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It happened at 1:30 in the morning. So think about that. Think about that. And so when we see that, we say, oh my gosh, I can't imagine family members and, oh, we still have 150 people have not been accounted for. I'm just saying. So we have to connect the dots. We are wise women, wise men. We can definitely connect the dots. Nothing is going on through a vacuum. It's one and done. Everything is recorded in some way on this planet. You don't even know when you put out chaos, confusion, aggression in regions, blah blah blah. I mean, despicable things on our watch in my lifetime. 60s. I was born in 63, for example. So 60s, 70s, I mean, where have we never been at war? When has there been a time that we haven't been at war? I don't know that. I don't know that fact because I think this country this has been the MO. Yes, I consider myself an American. When I say that, there's a lot of pain behind it because we don't live in the same America of most. The fact that they differentiate between race and gender, sexual orientation, and the this and the that, you got you coming and going. And this is this despicable level of this type of behavior. It knows no boundaries. Because if your aggression is shown in Afghanistan, it may come around the corner and come the response will come to Miami, unfortunately. I don't like talking about this. I know what we're doing. I got chills right down up and down my spine. I know what we are doing. I'm saying this country needs to put away the games and the toys and the weaponry. We need to love one another. Love one another. And even if you read any of the good books, it says love one another. If you just take one passage, I didn't get my water across the room. If you just take one passage out of the Bible, I'm sure there's one in the Quran, just love one another. Just love one another. If we can do that, it'd be a whole different world. It would not be starvation. It would not be anger. Or what I'm saying is, you may have a car accident. I'm not trying to say it's going to be a pristine world and no accidents, etc. But it's not in the global scale, the national scale. I mean, racism is bred. It's bred in the society. Unfortunately, I don't like to talk about this. I like to talk about peace, love, and happiness. That's my vibe. That's how I get down. I cannot turn away and not see it for what it is. Because this country's blood on this country's hands, it's insurmountable. It's just like, oh my gosh. It's not like they've learned a lesson with our ancestors and oh my gosh, how did we do this? And I'm ashamed. Let's give, a couple $1 million to everyone. I mean, or whatever. Let's do this. Let's make amends. It won't do that. It's unfortunate. because they won't do the basic thing. Just have things repeat, rinse, repeat and rinse. Same thing, the same drama, the same drama all the time. So when are we going to give another scenario? When are we going to teach our people to love one another? But it can't be taught. It has to be taught from within. You have to see your fellow sister, brother, and have empathy. George Floyd had Chauvin knee on his neck. It should have been 2 seconds. It's kind of like to teach a lesson, which is sick and twisted anyway. He would have been still alive. What I'm saying, the melanin rules, 9.5 minutes, his knee on that neck, and his knee was still on the neck, and the man had already passed on. He had no pulse when they got to him. This is the example of this country. You can have a person on the police force for years. He didn't just come there like 2 years ago. So he had many complaints, but we just turn a blind eye instead of giving some additional training, and we don't do it that way. We just to have my hands are clean. No one went back to recertify him or whatever, or kick him off the force, which he should have been done probably years ago. What I'm saying is there is a cause and effect, and that's what Miami. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. It's not how I get down. Like I said, that's not my vibe. I just know the connection. We've been doing so many things horrific all over the globe. I'm not just picking on Afghanistan as a standard. This is a war that we have been fighting. We have been fighting for 20 years. For whatever reason, we even know why we're blowing up the place, sending the money to rebuild. It's a very sick, twisted situation. Yeah, it's very sick and twisted. So we definitely are planting seeds. We are planting seeds personally. My mother received a seed that someone planted, a few hours ago, and treated her to lunch, her and a girlfriend. These are seeds that we plant each and every day. What kind of seed are you planting? What kind of seed are you planting? Because this has got to stop. Because Miami will happen again. It happened in Miami. Think about that. A lot of people have been to Miami at least once. I've been there like twice because I used to live in Atlanta. So it was, quick flight, Delta, right down to Miami. It was like an hour and a half or something. It was one and done. We had a good time. And I didn't necessarily like Florida too much, but went down there to party, when that was on my mind, you know, and that's what I did. But it could happen anywhere in this country. It can happen anywhere in this world. I mean, some things are just tragic for tragic sake, for tragedy's sake. Like, oh my gosh, this company, the building, I think I misspoke yesterday. I thought the building was 5 years old. The building is 40 years old. And it's all of that combined and not having all of the assessments done, and they had to do the upgrades in the building. I mean, people just can't continue to pay mortgage and all like that, and they don't have any. I have an HOA, and my HOA is a little bit of money. It's like over $200 a month, What I'm saying is they are responsible for the grounds and the this and the that and blah blah. When I first moved here, it's going up like $5 a year. It's not too bad, but oof, it can be a bit much. But there are. I don't have. I My water is subsidized, so I don't think I have had a. I think the highest water bill I had was like $30, and that's when a sister friend was staying with me for a few months to get on her feet. And so when that happened, because she was taking 2 showers again a day, that's another story. But yeah, so my bill was like $30. That was at the peak. Usually, with it just being myself, it's definitely $20 a month. So they subsidize it. What I'm saying is that's what they get the water bill, and then we pay a portion. So we see the moving parts of the HOA. I think they had an HOA, but you just don't know when it's going to strike. That's why you have to do your due diligence of planting good seeds across the planet. We do not have to have children, babies starving when we have billionaires, multi-billionaires on this planet. The planet came to us free. What have we done? We've had climate change is through the roof because I've been to Seattle. Seattle was hotter than Phoenix. I think it was yesterday. It was like 105 for here, 105, 106. It might be 110. It's a blur now. But we are prepared because this is the Valley of the Sun. The sunshine 90% of the time. And the second sunniest place on the planet, which I learned, it definitely is sunshine every day, without question. And it's dry, so it's a little to get used to, but it's pretty. My AC just cut off. Sorry for that background noise. It definitely is a place to get accustomed to. It's maybe a few months in, it can be a little challenging, but I'm like seventh year, so it's one and done. Because I know our fall from like my birthday in September to like May, it's beautiful out here. No kidding. It is really beautiful. However, Portland and Seattle, west of me and north of me, Phoenix, had record like 110 degrees. So we haven't done, this planet is free, came to us free and clear. What have we done? Destroyed the planet. We have to have an Earth Day. Every day should be an Earth Day. Everyone should be recycling. Everyone should be recycling. Period. We're so great. We are so fantastic. USA, USA. That's what we are told. We don't even know how to take care of the planet. This is where we live. Where else are we going? So Earth Day is the 22nd of April, one day. Every day should be Earth Day. We don't have a standard of, everyone coming together, recycling, churches, blah, 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 have recycling bins. I don't even know if churches do that. I'm just saying. I'm not a member of any particular church. I'm just saying. This could be how we're advancing our agenda in a positive way, not sending bombs, not not caring for babies who don't know where their next meal is going to come. This is in this country. This is not across the land. This is in this country. I think it's like 3 out of 5 children don't know their next meal. This is in the United States, but yet we have billionaires. We have created multi-billionaires in this country. In this country. But we don't even know how to take care of the planet. This is a disgrace. So all that we've been putting out, negativity, the chaos and confusion, the this, the that, the boom, the bomb, it comes back. Everything you send out. This is on a physical level, a spiritual level. It's gonna come right back around. This is what we need to know. Hear this. Hear this. So have we have a stake in this country because our bloodshed is in this country. We've had blood, sweat, and tears in this country. Our ancestors have, and perhaps some of us have. I know I've had. But we need to get a grip. And Miami should be the example. It should be. It was costly to lose lives, no question. So was George Floyd. He deserved a right to live. It's not, it's a yin and a yang. This is what they don't see the connection. You don't see the connection. That's the arrogance. You don't see the connection. What you do one place can have a horrible effect on the other. This is what we know. We know in our gut. If we have been putting out, good energy, no, we learn like, hey, we're not after World War II, we're not going to do that again. We learned that lesson. Or Vietnam War, we learned that lesson. It continues. Now the Afghanistan war. It's war, 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 war. Why do you believe people are engaging in war? Out of fear. Out of fear. Out of fear. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. That's what's going on. We don't connect those dots. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate because people are seeing it's just isolated. Oh, it just happened here. They don't even want to have a spiritual conversation with any of the spiritual monks or greats of, the meditators, the people who've been sitting, the Sikhs, if it's not Christianity, it's like, oh, who are you and what do you want? We're just not a global kind of citizen. We need to be. We need to be global citizens. So we can have respect for the other race. We can have respect for the other gender. We can have respect, fill in the blank. This is going to be for our downfall. Unfortunate, because the arrogance doesn't serve us in any way. Because this is a lesson. It's still sifting through rubble, probably seeing hands and feet. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be graphic, but I'm just saying it's inevitable. What they're seeing out there, they're going to need psychological analysis because it's heavy scene there. I've been to Miami, like I said, at least twice. Source Awards, and I think I was down there one other time. This is horrific. We have to begin to connect the dots. We have to we cannot, look the other way. We cannot afford that. So I'm charging listeners out there in internet world to search their heart and mind and soul. Because this is a soul journey. We're in these bodies. This is a soul journey. And there's a way that we can become better and better and better. If you're the same person 10 years ago, and you bumped your head a few times and you didn't get the lesson, that's on you. If you I bumped my head and I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, I get the lesson. Okay, I, I get the lesson." But this is what we need to see. It's a hard pill to swallow, no doubt. We have to do it because obviously lives are lost. Trayvon Martin was a kid coming home from the store in Florida. He was a kid, a young man walking home by himself and didn't even make it home. Trayvon Martin. What I'm saying is, even though it's so disconnected, we don't see the connectedness of it all. We need to start. We definitely need to start because nothing ever happens in a vacuum. Nothing ever happens in a vacuum. So, what kind of seeds are you planting? Seeds of destruction? Seeds of joy? Are you paying for some elderly people's meals? This was happened. My mother had that experience and she shared that with me today. What kind of seeds are we planting? You know, it's very, very upsetting. Even to me, I don't even have any. I think I have some family in Miami, but I think they're all accounted for. We are global citizens. So they're paying, perhaps at some level, our pay. We're not sending the message from the government, from these other entities. We're sending the same chaos and confusion. It's on, it's rewind. It's on, broken record. So when are we going to change the record, USA? Because we see if we're sending stuff out terrible, negative, um, horrific circumstances, those people are still fleeing from those nations that we have presence and we put up the flag trying to get the oil, whatever the case is. But all is for the global family. The oil is for the global family. We all need oil. I mean, Phoenix has got some high prices right now. I think it was like $3 a gallon. So we have to look at this. I'm gonna just close, but we have to do better as global citizens, for the sake of this planet. We have we have an Earth Day, one day that's designed for Earth Day. Every day should be Earth Day. Every day. We should be recycling every day. We should be driving Priuses every day. You can. It's just ridiculous. We are destroying the planet in which we live, inch by inch, day by day, minute by minute. So thank you so much for tuning in. I did not want to close on a sorry, sad note. I really don't think that was my intention. I just wanted to speak my truth. It'll set me free. So just consider how are you paying it forward? Just consider what you can do in your little island. You know, if you can do anything to help be, accelerate whole climate change, because Seattle, see, we're prepared. We got AC all the time, you know. I usually like after July into August, now into September. I probably don't even have just the fan on, and the winters out here are just fabulous, you know. But the fact that Seattle, the top of that's almost Canada. My goodness. They had record temperatures, 109 degrees. Most of the people do not have AC. That's how beautiful all year round is. I've been to Seattle about at least two or three times. Seattle is quite a lovely place. I love it. They have like we have rails, they have rails, and we're still building ours. Certain areas, we're expanding. What I'm saying is, I went over there like 15 years ago, and they were already, earth friendly, and they, were, recycling, doing everything they could to offset this climate change. And with me saying this, what's the global state? What is this global scale? It's, it should be, like over the roof. We should not be behind the eight ball. Because if we're USA, we know everything. Sometimes you have to, in life, take a seat, learn from the elders. We are the elders. We are the elders. Black and brown people, we are the elders. We need to teach youngsters the way, the truth, and the light. Because youngsters are destroying this planet. When I say youngsters, respectfully, new kids on the block is what I'm saying, who were hanging some of our ancestors from trees. This is who we are living among. Even in that, we can find a way to surround the situation in peace and joy. Because Miami, I'm not trying to say, well, some will say eye for an eye, but I definitely don't feel that. But I just know the laws of the universe. So it's not surprising that it happened in Miami. But we have to do better. We have to do better. It's our grandchildren are watching, our children are watching, and we can definitely get this right. The time is ticking. The clock is ticking. This country is the clock is ticking. We're about to have the 4th of July, and our ancestors were enslaved during that time. So we have to kind of hit the reset button, especially with this happening. We don't want another massacre. Like we've had so many the shootings, the mass shootings. We've had like over 100, 200 this year. Why? It's in the mind, the body and spirit. Some of us come here as assassins. I'm just saying. I'm not one. Some people come here, that's the goal. If you know someone in your family that has mental illness or whatever, just don't turn the other way. Just see it as a cry for help and have some assistance for that person or the people or the family. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not going to apologize for a heavy topic because it needs to be said, and it was on my heart. I didn't have too many notes, just a couple here and there, but we have to do better. This country is really sad to say. It's teeter-tottering. We can go either way. We can definitely go either way. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, be well, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same back channel. And you have a you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in. Share, 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 like, subscribe.